Hey, What the Suck family. As you may have noticed, we recently switched to Anchor for our podcast hosting needs.
That's right. We were using another site that had us paying $20 a month for services such as unlimited uploading, unlimited hosting, and distribution. Anchor will distribute your podcast to Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, and many more, and they do it all for free.
They make it super easy to create and start your podcast directly from their site. You can record and edit directly on the Anchor website or app directly from your phone.
It's your one-stop shop for everything you need to create your own show. They will even help you find sponsors to fund your project.
Just go to anchor.fm and get started today. There really is no easier way to do it.
What? No!
You suck! Oh my God!
Hey guys, welcome to What the Suck podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm James.
Today, episode number 6 is a special one because it's the only one we've done so far where the movie has had a theatrical release.
It actually got into the movie house.
Not only did it get into the movie house, but it came out in January. So January is the month where movies go to die.
Well, this one obviously did.
Yeah, but it didn't. It didn't. So for those who don't know, December is the month where time of the year where movies are released that directors and studios want to be considered for the Oscars. It's the cutoff time.
Yes.
So you'll find your period pieces, your big grand epics released in December to be considered for the Oscars. After that is done, then they dump their shit in January to start a whole new year off on the wrong foot. So,
ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, today we present The Bye-Bye Man. The Bye-Bye Man is a 2017 American supernatural horror film directed by Stacy Title and written by Jonathan Penner, based on the chapter The Bridge to Body Island in Robert Damon Schneck's book, The President's Vampire. I don't know what the hell that is, but it is produced by Simon Horseman, Trevor Macy, Jeffrey Soros, Seth William Meyer, and Melinda Nishioka. A lot of producers. I guess a lot of them walked. I don't know.
probably.
And the movie stars Douglas Smith, Lucien Leviscount. Cressida Bonus, Doug Jones, Carrie Ann Moss, and Faye Dunaway. Yes, Faye Dunaway.
So right there we have three well-known, I guess you would call them thespians, but three well-known individuals in Hollywood. You've got Faye Dunaway, who's been around forever, who they apparently pulled from the nursing home to come film this movie. You've got Carrie Ann Moss, famous for The Matrix.
And Jenna Canella as well. I don't want to leave her off. She's down there on the bottom.
And you've also got Doug Jones. Doug Jones he's not known for his face, but he's known for his body movements. He's been in a ton of movies where specific body type or body movements has been required.
So he's the green screen guy.
He's the Bye-Bye Man.
I gotcha. Yeah.
He also played Abe in the Hellboy series.
Gotcha.
He's also played a bunch of other films, which I don't have in front of me right now, but he's actually well known as a sci-fi/horror type of icon.
Sweet. Well, we have music by Fig and Isaac, the Newton brothers.
That's
Cinematography.
God, I hope that's not their first names for real.
No, it's not.
Okay, good.
I couldn't think of anything more clever, but
that's
Fig Newton.
Fig Newton.
I
Fig
gotta
and
go
Newton.
with it.
Yeah.
Gotta go with it.
Fig and Isaac Newton. Perfect.
Stupid. Cut that part out.
No,
Edit.
that part's staying in. Staying in.
Cinematography by James Christ. Neist. Man, I cannot read today, folks. I am so sorry. James Kniest. K-N-I-E-S-T.
I'm sure the K is silent. Probably just James Neist.
Probably.
Like Knife.
Edited by Ken Blackwell. and distributed by STX Entertainment.
All right, let's get to the important part. What was the budget of this thing?
The budget of this movie was $6.2 to $7.4 million, which is probably about $5 million of that was used to lure Faye Dunaway out of retirement.
Probably. And what was the box office gross for this
The
movie?
box office gross was $26.7 million.
So, this movie was critically panned, commercially panned. Not commercially, it was a success because it made its budget back almost more than 3 times over.
Yep.
But it currently sits at a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Which is about right.
Yeah. So, and so this movie is about a entity that is called forth when you say or speak. Well, say and speak is the same thing, but when you speak its name or you apparently think about it,
Or write it.
yeah, very much in the vein of like Freddy Krueger, the Candyman, the girl from the Ring, that's
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary, that kind
absolutely.
of stuff. The problem though with this one versus those is the name. The name of the spirit is the dumbest fucking name they could have given to a quote unquote horror individual or a spirit or whatever the hell you want to call it. The Bye Bye Man is the dumbest name because the whole idea is Candyman, Freddy Krueger, Bloody Mary. The whole idea is you're supposed to say their name to call them forth. Mm-hmm. They're all names or titles that you wouldn't normally say. Candyman's a little bit more, but Candyman just say it 5 times in a mirror.
Yes.
Bloody Mary 5 times in a mirror.
Yep. And we shall delve farther into the stupidity of the how, what, and whys of the Bye Bye Man.
Right.
It was released on January 13th of 2017, so it was fairly recent, at a running time of 96 minutes.
And
Not
so
bad.
I'm gonna go back to the name real quick. The name, the Bye Bye Man. How often do you say Bye Man?
Never.
Never. You never say Bye Man.
I don't say bye, man. I say
see
Bye,
Bye Man. I say Bye Man all the time.
I say later, adios.
Yeah, but
I know what you mean.
How often do you say Bye Bye?
Until I start dating again, probably never.
Oh, we'll see.
Bye bye, honey.
Bye bye. Yeah. So, but my point is like it's words that you could probably find easily put together anywhere.
Yep, you're right.
And to name it the Bye Bye Man, it's just a dumb. When you hear the Bye Bye Man, do you get chills?
No.
When you hear the Candyman,
I think
do you
of
get
a
chills?
lullaby. I think of little lambs hopping over a fence and
Yeah.
people running through a field of poppies and all this other crap or whatever. No, I do not think of somebody who's going to come and rip your fucking head off.
When you think of Bloody Mary, do you get chills?
Bloody Mary, the very concept of it is chilling to a point.
Mm-hmm.
I have never done it.
Right.
Probably never will.
But let's just say, for the hell
yeah.
of it, that you were captured by somebody, say Freddy Krueger, and he said he wasn't going to kill you, but he was going to make one of his 3 friends kill you, and you had a choice: Candyman, Bloody Mary, or Bye Bye Man. Which one would you choose?
I'd say the Bye Bye Man because he sounds like a pussy.
He seems like less threatening. He's like, you know what? I could probably take this motherfucker.
Yeah, that's right.
I might have a survival chance of beating the Bye Bye Man. So
Bust a calf in his ass.
right, I'm gonna say bye bye to that man. And plus, I'm sorry, but I'm an older person, but when I hear the Bye Bye Man, all I think of is the NSYNC song.
Yep.
That's all I think.
Bye bye bye.
Bye bye. So
Yeah.
that's just ridiculous.
So, what do you say we dive into this one, Chris?
All right, let's give it a good, thorough review.
As always, may God be with us.
Bye bye.
Yipe.
He's real. If you say his name, or even think it, he'll come for you. Don't say it, don't think it.
What happened? You're gonna tell me, you know that?
Please don't make me say it. Don't say it, don't think it. if I tell you about him? You and your kids. You're all dead.
A house off campus with John Henry and a live-in girlfriend.
Should we do it?
Yeah.
You ready for this?
What the hell is that?
What is it?
There's something happening.
He's found us.
Who? Don't think it, don't say it. The bye-bye man.
And the more you think about him, the closer he gets.
Hey, he's trying to get inside us. Jesus. He makes us see things. He makes us do things.
Don't say it. Don't think it.
It spreads like a virus.
Don't say it. Don't think it. It could spread everywhere.
I'm not gonna let it happen. Please!
Don't say it. Don't think it. We have to help them.
No, it's a trick!
Don't say it. Don't think it. Don't say it. Don't think it.
I'm afraid of putting this into your head.
Tell me.
Bye-bye, man.
The movie begins with a flashback to, when did they say the flashback was? 1960,
Like in 70,
70 something?
70 something. Yeah, it's in the 70s.
So this very, very sensible man by the name of Valeri
Yep.
pulls up to his house. Is it his house or his girlfriend's house?
I believe it's either his girlfriend's house or his family's house. He's banging on the door, losing his mind.
Right.
Mr. Larry basically ain't fucking around. He gonna
Right.
find out what's up.
Right.
Sitting there muttering to himself, "Don't say it, don't think it, don't think it, don't say it." And you're like, "What the hell's wrong with this dude?"
Right. Yeah, he's obviously very, very clear-minded, level-headed.
Yep. And he goes up to this house. He's banging on the door. He's like, and then the lady answers and says, "Did you tell him? Did you tell him?" And you're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So basically, this is a flashback. So it hasn't explained itself. You don't know where it's going. You don't know what the hell the problem is. But Mr. Larry runs back to his car and proceeds to blow a hole in the door of the house. And goes in there and wastes some chick. I don't even know what her name is. I can't remember. Blows her away because obviously she heard something.
She told somebody.
She told
Because
somebody
he asked
something.
her who she told. And she said, I just told John or whoever because it was funny.
So
he has
Larry
to kill her.
gets a seriously depressed look on his face. Now, Larry seems to be having to do this against his will. He doesn't seem to be psychotic, but he seems to be desperate to stop something. And you're like, what the hell's going on here? So he runs outside, and you see these two people running across the street, which I believe was the two people that she had told.
Okay.
So she's running, they're out there. They see Larry coming with a shotgun, and they take off running, but yet they're running in a straight line.
Right,
And you're
right.
like, okay, well, first of all, somebody's chasing me with a shotgun. I'm zigzagging. I'm not going to sit there and run in a straight line and give him a clear shot.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't. He goes in the house, chases them down, kicks the door in, goes in there, and you do hear the gunshot. And then the
Yes.
title of the movie is revealed, The
Right.
Bye-Bye Man.
Oh, but let's
Blah, blah,
not forget
blah.
that during that whole exchange, that whole scene, there's little glimpses of a train coming down a dark at night, and it doesn't explain anything that's going on. You're just supposed to see the train and think that it's going to be very important to the story, or you're just supposed to automatically know what the fuck the train means. And it's, or maybe it's artistic, which it's not artistic. It's fucking.
Trying to tie in something, but yet at this point is not yet.
At this point, you have no
explained.
idea. You have no idea what the fuck's going on at all.
No.
At all.
None. So that being said, once Larry wastes about 8-9 peoples, we forward all of a sudden at warp speed into 2017,
17.
I guess.
So the
present day.
Yeah.
According to what the movie is. And we see these three highly annoying individuals.
Yes. The stars of our show, ladies and gentlemen.
Stars of the show.
Got John. You've got the main character's name is Elliot, his friend John, and then Elliot's girlfriend Bear.
He calls her Bear. That's like her little nickname.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck her real name is.
Well,
but
I've come to one conclusion, Chris, at this point, and I hate Elliot.
You hate Elliot, okay.
He is annoying looking, and he is annoying sounding. And the name of the movie is The Bye-Bye Man, but it should have been Bye-Bye to the Acting, Bye-Bye to the Script, as you said, because it was... So far, it's kind of a shit show. But you know what? We're in the shit show business, right?
Exactly. So they purchase or rent this house.
Yeah, it's a rental.
It's a rental. They rent this house that happens to be the house from earlier at the beginning.
Yep, when Larry blew a hole in the door.
Right.
It's considerably older looking now, obviously.
It's run down a bit. They show up. The three of them, these three college kids, somehow afford to rent a 2-story large house. And they move in. You don't see any montage of them doing any fixing up or anything. They don't do any checking. They just kind of just move in. There's furniture in the basement. They grab the furniture. They put it together, assuming that it's going to be just fine.
And by the looks of these three clowns, I'm sorry, but there's just no way these punks have either the gumption nor the know-how to get that house in shape. I mean, we're talking holes in the ceiling.
Yeah.
There's damage to the floors. It's just a run-down shithole.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, three entitled teenagers are going to move into a house, college age, of course. Going to move into this house and mysteriously just get it all up and running. And they apparently do, and they're apparently very fast at it, because I believe that very night there was no transition.
No,
very night we go right into a party, boy. You know, and it's like, really?
So such thing. We have no idea how long the passage of time has been since they moved in. But all of a sudden they already have furniture. They're sleeping in the house. And then the next scene is them having a party. And at that point the house is already being fixed up into better shape. But we have no idea how they're doing it or if they're even doing it. Not that it really matters, but that's the problem. Yep. When you get down, when you're watching a movie and all you focusing on are the unimportant things like how do they get the house fixed up, when do they do it, when do they have time, instead of the actual story, instead of what's actually going on, you're watching a bad movie.
Yeah, you're like, what the hell?
You're more focused on the incidentals than the actual story. There's something very wrong with the movie.
Well, see, the problem is a thinking person can't watch movies like this. That is why it's so interesting for us to actually do this, because we sit there and analyze because it adds to the experience. We try to analyze, now why in the hell would they do this? And why the hell would they do that? It's just stupid. Well, anyway, proceeding forth, once the party is concluded, we meet Elliot's big brother, Virgil, who brings his wife and his 4-year-old daughter to a frat party, what it looks like. I mean, they're in there getting it on this beer.
Yeah, they're playing beer pong, and this little girl's walking around.
Girl's just walking around.
Yeah, probably doing shots with her.
Wanders around the house, and you think, oh my, what's going to happen? She starts creeping around the house, and we catch a couple of glimpses of our bad guy.
Yeah,
just kind of little flash sequences. Really nothing major.
Yeah. She goes upstairs, so she's walking around. She goes upstairs into the bedroom where Elliot's bedroom, and that's as she's walking in. That's when you get the first glimpse of the Bye-Bye Man in a mirror reflection.
You said it.
Yeah. Oh, I said it.
Don't say it.
Don't say it. Don't think it. Dude. Don't say it. Don't think it.
Oh my God.
And so she's in there. She finds a coin and she picks it up and she puts it on the thing and she walks back down. No, wait, I forget. Before she did that, there's for some reason there's 2 doors in that bedroom that are like not even child size, they're like dog sized doors.
Yeah.
And there's one on each side of the room, and so she opens one door and looks inside, and from the other, the door opens and we get our first glimpse at the horribly, horribly, horribly rendered Bye-Bye dog who pokes his head out and looks like something from like the first Resident Evil movie.
He's like a Earl Campbell's blue ribbon sausage.
Yes, with eyes.
Bum's favorite or whatever it was.
Yeah.
A blue ribbon sausage. One of those chubby Texas sausages, all shriveled to hell.
And so, but we're not giving
with eyeballs.
Any explanation about why the dog's there, what the dog has to do with the Bye-Bye Man, why the Bye-Bye Man has a fucking dog to begin with.
Who knows?
So then she finds a coin. She puts the coin back on the thing. What the coins have to do with anything, we don't know yet at this point. Well, it's not again one of the many things that are not discussed.
Nothing's explained.
Instead, we get this stupid fucking story of John worrying that his girlfriend's cheating. No, not John. Elliot's worried about his girlfriend cheating on with his best friend, which doesn't make it, which is dumb. But anyway, so then she goes downstairs and she tells about the coin, whatever, and then something. So okay, let's go back a little bit. I'm already picking out scenes from other horror movies that are better done. For instance, when they first move in the house, when they first walk in, he goes upstairs, he sees the rooms, and he goes downstairs to the basement, and I'm already getting flashbacks to Amityville Horror.
Amityville Horror, especially even the upstairs room in the same shape, the windows are in the right place. Basement, yeah.
He says he goes down there and says it's cold down there, and that's Amityville Horror right there. Okay. Then we are treated to the scene where after the party, it's left with Elliot, John, Bear, and then a friend of hers who's a quote-unquote sensitive.
A psychic, yeah.
Right. And I'm already, and again, I'm getting glimpses of a better movie, Stir of Echoes.
Stir of Echoes.
With Kevin Bacon. At the end of that party, they're there with his sister-in-law who's a sensitive.
Yeah, and I do have that in my notes, too. I'm sitting there I'm laughing because they said, oh, she's going to do a psychic cleansing after everybody's gone and blah, blah, blah. So as soon as she leaves, next thing you see is this girl waving this feather. And
she does a saging. So she goes with this big-ass fucking, giant raven feather going down, just blowing smoke everywhere. And meanwhile, the directors are blowing smoke up our ass with this movie.
Yes, our friend Hazel would be extraordinarily proud.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I mean, you're sitting there going, okay, first of all, she's doing it all wrong. She's not even saying anything to ward off the evil energy. She's just flagging it out. She's waving it out of her face like it's annoying.
Yeah. It's like she's waving a fart away from her. Like she's crop dusting.
Exactly. Complete idiots.
So then they do a seance.
They're doing a seance.
Because Elliot doesn't believe in it.
Of course he doesn't believe.
Because he's a douche.
He's being the consummate skeptic.
By the way, let's just say that there's not a single character in this movie so far that is likable. I want every single one of them to die and die fast.
I think the little girl was about the best one because she didn't really say anything. She
that's true.
Says, Uncle Elliot and blah, 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 and then she leaves.
That's true. Yeah. So they do the seance.
Yeah, does the seance. Then they're done. They're sitting there, and all of a sudden, Elliot and his doubt just gets up and breaks the circle. Okay, it's a big no-no. When you're doing a seance, you don't break the damn circle. You just get up. Oh, shit. And he runs in there because he's doubting. He goes and hides something in there.
Yeah.
He hides a set of, I believe, a set of keys on the stove.
In a pot on the stove,
Goes back to the damn table and says, okay, smartass, what'd I do? Blah, 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 and all this. And she's like, hey, I don't like this. Something's coming, blah, blah, blah.
Real quick, we're forgetting that prior to that, he went upstairs to his room and he saw the coin on the floor. He went to put it into the drawer.
Yes.
He put it in the drawer, closed the drawer, and for some reason the coin fell out. So then he decides to investigate the drawer. He pulls it out. Inside the drawer, the lining of the drawer, in a circular pattern, are the words "Don't think it, don't say it," written over and over again. And because he's a genius, and obviously he he's not very I don't know, but he has to turn the drawer around in his hands to continue reading.
He's rotating the door in his hands, reading it instead of just reading the few lines.
If it's the same 6 words over and over, you don't need to turn the fucking drawer in your hand to read it. But then, so this is the setup that this is telling you, okay, don't think it, don't say it, you'll be safe.
You're like,
And
What
what
the hell?
what is it? And obviously, it's the title of the movie, The Bye Bye Man.
That is true. He
But
peels the
Right.
bottom layer off. He peels the paper out.
He peels the liner
and it's
off.
carved into the dress. It's carved into the nightstand.
So, why would somebody give you? Why would they give you instructions on page 1 to not do something, and then on page 2 tell you what it is you need to not do?
Because there wouldn't be any movie then, Duck. It'd be done.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
No
it's
sense.
Like, it's
But
like
hey.
saying, "Hey, you're an alcoholic. Congratulations, you've been free for you've been clean for a year. Let's go celebrate. Let's go to Dave and Buster's.
There you go.
There's alcohol there.
Have a beer.
Have a beer. You've earned it. But the problem with that is, even if you didn't matter that the name was on there, don't think it, don't say it. That's like that common cliche. Don't look down.
That's right.
What's the first thing you do when someone
You
tells
look
you that?
down.
You look down.
Holy
What's the
shit.
first thing you do when someone says don't think something?
That's right. You think about it. Because
You
they
have
put it in your
to
head.
you have to exert force to remember not to think about the thing.
Exactly.
But by trying not to think about the thing, you're trying to remember what thing you're not supposed to think about. So in a sense, it's a circle. Maybe that ties into the fact that the phrase "don't think, don't say it" is written in a circle.
Yep.
Because that line of thought is circular.
Yep.
But that's the dumbest way to keep you safe
Absolutely.
of all time.
Okay. Well, that was excellent, Duck. It was a good point to go back to because we blew right past that.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, he comes back downstairs after seeing this.
Right.
They gets back in the circle. Then once his little theory is, once he tries to pull his little stunt, and she actually calls him on it, tells him exactly what he did, kind of frustrated, and then she says something's coming, and they're all like, what was coming? And then what does the dumbass do?
She starts saying, "Don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it." And then his friends, John and Bear, are like, "What are you talking about?" And then this dumbass, just for whatever reason, is like, "The Bye Bye Man."
He says it.
He says it.
All the lights go out.
All lights go out. She goes on the floor having a fucking conniption fit. And so now, not only does he know about it, but the 3 people in that room know about it.
Nice job, asshole.
Good job. But I will say in his defense, which I don't want to defend this fucker, but in his defense, he didn't know about it because the movie doesn't tell you anything.
At that point, he's unfamiliar with what the deal is. So.
And they made it, they set it up so that in that particular scene, he's not a believer in this kind of shit, so he doesn't believe in what he saw in that drawer. So he doesn't give a shit that you're not supposed to say it, not think it. So he's just going to say it. But even if he did, we're not giving any information on what happens if you do say it or think it.
Yep.
I mean, the obvious conclusion is that you get killed. But at this point, he's gone on 25, 35, maybe 45 minutes since he's seen the drawer and nothing's happened. So why?
Nothing.
Whereas, like, going back to a better movie, The Candyman, the instant you say his name in the mirror the right amount of times, the fucker comes out and guts you from asshole to neck.
Yep, he don't fuck around.
There's no in between. There's no cooling off point. You say his name.
Here's the deal: $6.7 million total budget. So I guess they had to be a little slow developing. So if they had to you got to make the story develop a little slower so we can actually fill that hour and a half.
Well, they should have took that $6.7 million and put at least some decent money into the storyteller and the scriptwriter, because these 2 fuckers just failed completely.
Well, Elliot's just a colossal douche anyway, and he just needs to die.
Yes, he does. He absolutely does.
Freaking douche. And then after that, he says it.
Yeah, so then she has a conniption fit, and then
typical predictable jump scares so far.
And then the scene ends.
And then the scene ends.
And they're in bed.
And
what happens when he's in bed?
He's looking around.
Right.
All of a sudden he looks at the obvious shadow that's been on the walls in several scenes finally does what the hell we've been waiting for it to do. It reaches out. He jumps up, turns the light on.
It's nothing.
And then the cloak is laying on the floor. But I'm like, okay, first of all, it was hanging. Now it's on the floor. Nobody makes any reference to this. So what the hell?
Again, the Bye Bye Man is there. He doesn't do anything though. Why?
You bored?
I guess. So then, so then, After that, he goes downstairs.
Excuse me.
He hears John giving it to the psychic lady real good in the bedroom. And while that's happening, all of a sudden he starts hearing scratching.
Yep.
So he starts to walk into the living room, and when he walks into the living room, the camera it cuts back to him, and behind him is the Bye-Bye Man, and he points towards the window. Elliot can't see it, but we see it point towards the window, as he's sort of like persuading him to go towards the window. He's looking less like the Bye-Bye Man and more like Palpatine pointing Luke towards the window in Return of the Jedi.
True, either that or he's telling him, just get the fuck out of the house,
Yeah,
dude.
like,
you're annoying. Just get out of here. I'll kill you later. Go, just go.
So he starts walking towards the window, and then his girlfriend comes out, and you see him staring at something out the window, but you don't see what it is because, again, the fucking scene ends and it goes to the next fucking scene, and it doesn't explain anything.
Nothing. Just no. Yeah, the transitions are pretty poor.
Oh, they're horrible. So then what happens next day? Dude, John takes Psychic back.
Yep.
To her house. Oh my God.
At this point, John's lost his name. John is now known as ED.
Yeah. So they're sitting in his car at her house, and she's talking about, we can go inside, we can try again. This happens sometimes. He's like, not to me. This kid is a college student, and he's having erectile dysfunction. So yes, he's gone from John to ED. His name is ED. Call him Ed for short.
Call him Ed for short. That's right.
And as he's looking at her, he starts seeing the worst CGI maggots appear in her hair for no fucking reason.
It's stupidity.
And he doesn't say anything. He just freaks the hell out. She gets out. He goes home. And then he starts freaking out for some reason and talking about how perfect Elliot's girlfriend is, which she's not perfect. She's a fucking nutball. And then goes and takes a shower. And while that's happening, Elliot and Bear are in the kitchen talking, and she's starting to feel sick. You start to see her coughing. She doesn't seem well. So he decides he's going to make her some tea. So while he's making her some tea, she's standing there by the sink, and all of a sudden she has this hallucination of John standing butt-ass naked in the hallway looking at her saying, "Come to me."
It's got to be the black, it's got to be the black mold and the dust mites.
Yes, I didn't think about that. The black mold that they didn't even check for when they rent the fucking house.
They rent the house, they go lay down, she's inhaling this shit, they're sleeping on whatever the hell was already on the bed.
Very good point.
She could be getting sick from that, because you never know.
Very good point. Yeah, it's very good point.
Because they getting clean shit.
No, it's a very good point. And so she starts hallucinating, so then what happens after that?
I'm almost numb.
You're almost...
after that, I think that's about it.
Because then we forget about the part where Elliot went into the basement, and what he goes in there for, I don't remember, but he goes down in the basement and he's looking for something, and he finds another coin on the floor, and he picks it up, and as he picks it up, the dog is in the background.
Yes.
Scares the shit out of him. He runs up. He goes to run upstairs. Door closes on him. He's freaking out. All of a sudden, the door's open. The two of them are standing there, John and Elliot, or John and Bear. And so he comes up and he starts freaking out and accuses him of getting it on while he's down in the basement, which doesn't make any fucking sense.
None.
But then we get the dumbest scene, another dumb scene where he. What?
That's right. He
goes to the library.
The library.
To do research on the Bye-Bye Man because I guess he can't use his phone to look up Google. And speaking of Google, let's not forget that the search engine that he uses to look it up on the internet is called Search. Because apparently 6.7 million to 7 million is not enough to get the rights to use Google in your movie.
Google
so you
or Yahoo or any of that.
And then you have to create your own. You have to create your own search engine, and you're so lazy you can't even think of a name for it. So you just call it Search.
That's it.
So he looks it up, and again, what millennial at this point just doesn't do everything on their phone?
I don't know. That's why I was sitting there going, wait a minute, who goes to the library and actually does research anymore?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's the good old days, granted, but not these days.
Not millennials. Their phone is glued to their hand, so they don't do anything with their phone. So, but he ends up somehow finding this old database listing for information on the Bye Bye Man, and they have to go down to the archives, and the librarian makes him put on gloves to read the news story. And apparently it was an old news story about a teenager who killed his family because of the Bye Bye Man, and then the reporter who covered it was old Larry.
Mm-hmm.
And because Larry covered it, he knew about it, so then he went on his killing spree.
Yep.
And so while Elliot's reading that, the librarian leaves. There's this horrible exposition dump is going on right here, where they're just getting all this shit out in like less than a minute. And then the librarian leaves. And then John looks at his phone and says to no one in particular, other than obviously the audience, because the director thinks the audience is dumb and needs to be handheld. And so he out loud says, "Oh, I have time still," talking to no one again. There's no one there. Looks at his phone. It's like 1:40. He looks down, and for some reason he decides that he needs to eliminate the name Bye Bye Man from everything. And so on this news story from the 40s, this original print of it, he starts to scratch out the name Bye Bye Man in every part of it. First of all, defacing library property. Second of all, he doesn't even do a thorough job of scratching it off. He runs 5 or 6 lines to it. You can still see the fucking name in the article. So he's just incompetent all around.
And then every time he reads the name, he looked up.
Oh yeah, and the Bye Bye Man is sitting at a table
about 5 tables away.
Right, and then he looks down, scratches up, looks up,
and then he's about 2 tables closer.
Yeah.
He looks down, scribbles out again.
And he's one table closer. He's one
right
table
on
away.
Top of him,
yeah.
And then he does the scratches out the last name.
And then boom, the cat appears.
Then the cat was the librarian was in his face. What's wrong with you?
But
at him.
You're right. When watching that, all I thought about was that video of the cat moving closer every time the camera.
The cat video. That's right. The one where you peek around the corner and the cat's way across the room.
Yeah.
And you go back. Then you come out and the cat's a little closer.
Again, when your main villain of this horror film reminds you of a cat video you saw online, I ask again, how exactly is this supposed to be a horror movie?
Exactly. And we also can't forget a very important aspect. The librarian is now familiar with the name, and she's said his name like 12 or 13 times
in that 2-minute period.
Research.
Exactly.
The Bye Bye Man?
Yeah. Oh, the Bye Bye Man. Bye Bye Man. The Bye Bye Man. The Bye Bye Man. The Bye Bye Man. The Bye Bye Man.
You talking about the Bye Bye Man? Oh, the Bye Bye Man will come over. Oh, yeah, I know about the Bye Bye Man. And she just kept going. They're like, oh, God, she's so dead.
Yeah. So,
but the good thing is, the good stuff is still ahead. There ain't been no killing yet.
Yeah.
Except for Larry.
Well...
Larry done all the killing.
Yeah, Larry's done all the killing so far, but he hasn't killed the most important people, which are the main characters of the film.
I think he ran out of shells.
He needs to go buy some more.
Yes, he does. So, we have Elliot at the library after the cat video incident.
He runs away from there, and he goes to Kim's house because he wants to do another seance at the house.
Which is idiotic.
But he doesn't explain why he wants to. He just wants to do it, and Kim...
reluctantly
decides to go before washing some blood off her hands. Literally.
Yeah, and you're like, what the hell is this?
So they're in the truck driving, and
they approach the train tracks.
And
she has some vision in her head of a family in a car that's turned over by the railroad tracks.
Right.
He doesn't see it.
Right.
Our boy Elliot, he's oblivious.
Yeah.
But she sees it and starts screaming to stop the car, blah, blah, blah. So he slams on the brakes and jumps out. And she starts running toward the railroad tracks. And inexplicably, he looks into her bag when she's running, and then there is a bloody hammer.
Yeah.
And he doesn't question. What does he do? He just grabs it.
And this also mentioned that just prior to them stopping, she had mentioned that she told her friend Katie.
Yep, that is true.
So you get the suggestion that she killed her friend Katie after she told her.
But it doesn't really tell you that until later.
But
it does come out.
Yeah.
But anyway, he grabs this bloody hammer and he starts running after her. She's yelling, "Help! We gotta help him! We gotta help him!" Blah blah blah, and all this crap. And she's approaching the railroad tracks, and he's telling her, "Wait, stop! It's in your head," and blah blah. Because he doesn't see any of it.
Right. And
so what does she do? the car is actually on the other side of the track.
Yeah, and so she gets to the tracks, and then she
stops
and turns
on
to face
the tracks.
the train. But I will tell you that gives us one of the best parts of the movie.
Yes.
The way the body looks when he gets hit by the train is amazing, and
She
it's
takes
fantastic.
a train to the face.
And
I
it's
love
hilarious. And it was I was laughing so hard at that death in this horror movie because it's not a horror movie.
That's one of those ones that's stupid but cool. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it was a good train death.
Yeah.
So anyway, after she gets painted as a grease spot on the track, you know, the next scene they fade to the cops. They're all there. His friends show up. I'm not even sure how they got there, but they showed up.
Yeah. That's right.
On the scene, they're just there, and you're like, "What the hell?" And then we enter our Matrix gal, Moss.
Oh, Carrie Ann Moss. Yeah,
Ann Moss.
she's a detective. Just out of nowhere, just comes
investigating the scene.
Investigating the scene.
Basically runs down the scenario. Hey, what's going on here? The train conductor says, he says, I didn't kill anybody, but the train conductor saw you chasing this girl with a bloody hammer, and we found out that her roommate had been murdered by a hammer, was killed also, and blah, blah, blah.
Basically trying to pin it on him. And the whole time, he's trying to tell John to not say it, and John's being reluctant for some reason.
Because the cop is like, Who? Who are you talking about?
Girlfriend as well, and it's just it's a really terrible scene. The dialogue is horrible, and the interaction is horrible. And I just want to skip past it. Go to the next scene.
Yep.
So then
he's at the police station. She takes him in. He's at the police station. He's like, oh my God, what the hell, and blah blah blah. And then he gets.
He gets released.
That's right. He gets bailed out by his brother.
And
then he proceeds to jack his minivan and leave his ass at the station.
And
leaves his
takes
brother
off in his van. Yeah,
takes off in his van. Gets a phone call, and it's the librarian lady he was talking to, and she's already gone.
That doesn't happen there.
What's that?
That doesn't happen there. That happens when he gets back to his house. Remember?
You sure?
Yeah,
because he's in the truck.
Yeah, he's in the truck. He calls Sasha to try to
folks,
get a hold of her.
this is what this kind of stuff does to your brain.
The bye-bye man makes your brain go bye-bye.
Yes, because I'm telling
calls,
you, I'm all over the place right now.
He calls his girlfriend, tell her he's on the way, because John took his girlfriend home because she was feeling sick. On the way, as he's driving, all of a sudden the song comes on, the Bye-Bye Love, the old 50s, 60s song. And he's looking like a crackhead itching for his next fix, jumping up and down, shaking, singing the song like a complete jackass, looking like a crackhead, like I said. And then all of a sudden he sees his friend John in the middle of the road, and he says, "You're not real," and he speeds up. And of course when he gets to John disappears. But for whatever reason, he decides to look back behind him while driving, and he does it for a good 20 seconds.
Yep.
So he's not even looking at the road. And of course, it's that typical thing where he turns back around. But then the librarian is out there. No, wait, that's not right either. See, now my brain's going bye-bye.
That's what it is. But that's cool because what it does, he actually goes back to the house, and that's where he goes upstairs and he has the vision of his boy and his girl.
That's right.
Getting it on, but they're not.
They're not. But he whacks him upside the head with a bat.
Yeah, he freaks out, takes a baseball bat to his buddy's head, knocks him senseless, and then snaps the fact that she's actually laying on the bed asleep.
Right.
And his boy's laying on the ground all fucked up.
Fully clothed. And then somehow the librarian has his home number, calls him, tells him she's been thinking about the Bye-Bye Man and needs to see him. And she's going to come over to his house. Not only does she know his phone number, she knows where he lives, which is kind of creepy.
That is true. And after bashing his buddy and ditching his girl, of course, he runs out on him. And he goes all Arnold Cunningham. The guy's got a green complexion. He's driving the van like a madman.
Yeah. And that's right. And then that's when he runs into sees his friend.
Going down the street. He sees his friend.
In the middle of nowhere, by the way.
That's
no
right.
cars out, middle of the night. And after he runs through his friend who disappears, he's looking behind him. Then he looks back, and as soon as he looks back, the librarian somehow is in the middle of the road, in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, and hits her giving us again the second funniest death of the movie because she goes flailing along. And he topples his van. He gets out, goes over to her. Somehow she's still hanging on to the knife with her kung fu grip.
He's done flipped the van. He runs over there, and she's laying there against the tree with the butcher knife.
Yeah, still in her hand.
Which we forgot to tell.
Yeah.
Previously had butchered her own family.
Right. Yeah, when she was calling him, she hung up, and then we see the scene where she's leaving. And she had killed the whole family with the butcher knife. Whatever. It doesn't matter because it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's fucking useless. I'm sick of this shit. And so. So then
it's painful. It's like, please, Lord, let it in. You know.
So then he takes off. He walks back to the house to for whatever reason. But in the meantime, he had taken his friend John down to the basement, tied him up very poorly because John is able to get out of the rope, and walks up the stairs, and just opens the basement door. So not only did he not tie him correctly, but he didn't even lock or bolt the basement door. So what the fuck was the purpose of putting him in the basement? There's no purpose doing so.
I think he was just trying to keep him in check so he wouldn't walk around because everybody was going berserk. I don't know. There is no explanation. But essentially it comes down to the final scene pretty much. Let's just wrap this thing the way we should.
So he gets back to the house. He sees John and his girlfriend struggling. He sees John stabbing his girlfriend. He tackles John. John's trying to stab him. He has a gun. He shoots John. It's this really terrible like POV shot where you see John over him, but it's almost like a fisheye lens, kind of warped. It looks really bad. John falls off camera. We're still stuck in that shot, and then for some reason he pushes John back up and on top of him. But when it comes back up, it's not John; it's his girlfriend.
He picks him up to see who it was he killed, and then it's his girlfriend.
For some reason, which doesn't make any sense.
John's still flailing around on the floor,
having been stabbed with scissors.
A veal. His face is all chopped to hell up.
And then we see the wonderful, fantastic, probably $2.5 million worth of CGI put into the dog as it waddles out and looks like it's a good 2 inches off of the floor, not actually on the floor.
Least. Oh yeah.
And whatever reason, it walks out of the little room, walks around, and then walks out of the room.
And does nothing.
Does nothing. And there's no explanation as to why he has a dog. Then the Bye-Bye Man shows up and starts poking on John's head with his finger, showing him images. And then he runs downstairs because his brother shows up with his niece. Runs downstairs to keep them out. The damn Bye-Bye Man or the dog throw his girlfriend's body down the floor, which for some reason, which looks funny as hell, by the way. But throws his girlfriend's body down on the floor, and then the dog appears again, and the Bye-Bye Man appears again. And then all of a sudden, John has this uncontrollable urge to try to say his name, I guess, in order to spread it to the other person. But
yep, because his brother's relentlessly asking, "Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?"
So he ends
in his struggles,
yeah,
he just says to hell with it,
and he kills himself.
Tells the Bye-Bye Man, "I'm not going to let you win," and blows his brains
out. Now, I gotta say, rarely in a horror movie do you have such a happy ending.
Yes,
because
I thoroughly enjoyed.
I was fantastically, wonderfully happy with this ending because everybody died that I wanted to die. It was fantastic.
And you take super skeptic and he turns into a provoker. You know, the guy's like skeptic at first, and then he's like, "Come on, man, come on, dude."
He's half skeptic, half provoker, 100% douchebag,
100% dead.
But the thing is, like, we don't get any history of the backstory of the Bye-Bye Man, who or what he is, why he has a dog, what the fuck the coins have to do with him. The train, nothing. What the fuck the train has to do with him? What that whole scene? There's so many loose ends that aren't. Now I'm wondering if they thought they were going to try maybe wrap them up in like a sequel.
I don't know. It's kind of like a DC edit.
God help.
It's like they chop out all the scenes that would make the movie make sense.
God help if there was a sequel to this. But like, actually, I guarantee if there was a sequel to this, since it would be direct to video on demand or Blu-ray, it would probably actually be better.
But
okay. That's it. And so the very last scene, they wheeled John out of the house. The house was set on fire, by the way, as well. Who set on fire? Who gives a shit? But the house was set on fire. The detectives show up and everything, and they wheel John out. And the very last scene is so horrible. It's John is half burnt, coughing up blood, trying to say something. Detective Ann Moss wants to hear what he has to say. Looks, bends over to hear what he has to say, and while she's bent over, she's looking directly at the camera, and this music comes on that's like dun 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 dun.
And that's over because he's gonna say something.
He's gonna say it,
and then it should I say mercifully ends.
Oh my god, yes, this movie was so boring, so long, had so many scenes that went nowhere.
Yep.
And so many storylines that went nowhere. So many storylines that barely even started and went nowhere.
And what is scary is this one actually went to the theater.
This was released in theaters and it made triple its budget back, which is sad because there are a lot of people who actually who got conned into going, who said bye-bye to their money.
I guess, and so that all being said, brother, what do you give this colossal piece of shit?
Because so let me go over my points. That's why I'm about to give it this rating. The name is stupid. It makes no sense. The idea of not having to say or speak his name, even though you give him a name that has two of the most common words in the English language. Like I pointed out earlier, we were talking earlier off mic, and like even like the Sinister series, the demon had a cool name, a Bagul. It's not a name you hear often, so when you hear it, shit's gonna happen. And when you hear Bye Bye Man, it sounds like somebody who's delivering flowers for his mom or something.
Yeah, Bye Bye Man.
So the name is shitty. The name is stupid. So many scenes went nowhere. The script was terrible. The acting was terrible. There were only 2 scenes total that I actually enjoyed, which were the 2 death scenes, both some sort of vehicular manslaughter, which were awesome. But because of that, like this movie's not fun. It's worth watching one time. You can't make fun of it. You're gonna be bored off your ass. I'm giving it 5 shits.
Damn.
5 turds.
Going full
5 turds. Also
Damn.
because of the fact that this piece of shit was released in theaters. The other movies we have seen, the ones we will see, I can understand, because they were released on video on demand, they were released on streaming, they were released on Blu-ray. So yeah, you're not gonna get the quality but this movie was released in theaters, which means that it's supposed to have some sort of quality to it, and it had nothing. There's not a redeeming factor in this entire movie.
That is correct. And I know they had a cinematographer, but I don't think he actually did his job.
The director didn't do anything. The script writer
the camera
was
work
terrible.
was poor.
Yes,
the camera work was poor. The angles were poor. The lighting was atrocious. Yes. The acting was non-existent. I mean, you've covered most of the good points, so there's no sense in really repeating it. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get on board, and I'm going to go 5 turds on this one as well. This one's a full stinkeroo.
Yeah.
This one I actually hated worse than Creepshow.
Yeah.
Which I find that very hard to believe, but it was just because of the fact that you said it had no direction. It was all over the place. Nothing was explained. And that is seriously aggravating when it comes to a movie. And even, like you said, the 2 good scenes, the train splatter and the car and him hitting the librarian, were the only 2 redeeming scenes. I did like Larry at the beginning a little bit.
Okay.
But other than that, no.
It's not enough to give it a 4, huh?
Nope. That's a stinker.
The other thing that it really hurt it was the fact that it was PG-13, because especially there's a scene later on where it actually goes into more detail about Larry killing the people. Larry shoots people multiple times point blank with a 12-gauge shotgun.
Yep.
Not a single person has even a drop of blood on them.
That's true. The one girl that hits the wall, actually, I believe, leaves
a black mark.
It looks like hair dye or something. Yeah, that was.
He shoots the last 2 people no more than 2 feet from their body.
No blood.
Their sides should have been torn open with a 12-gauge. It's shooting buckshot. It should have been torn open from that close of a distance.
Which I find amazing because later on, with the stabbing scene and stuff, there was blood.
Yeah.
There was decent blood.
Yeah.
There was a couple of but yeah. This one, this is a one and done, folks.
Yeah,
for sure. And I am, like I said, I am shocked. This was the only theatrical release of all the movies we've reviewed so far, and it was by far the worst. It just had no redeeming quality. I was hoping it would. Some of the makeup, I kind of liked the way the Bye Bye Man looked, but
the dog looked like shit.
The dog was horrible.
And even one of the most painful ones for me to watch that so far has been Bat Out of Hell.
Oh God!
Even that, I found some joy in because it was how bad certain scenes were. But that was a movie that was not released in theaters. It wasn't even released in the U.S. I don't think. I think it was like Australian, whatever. But this to me gets the 5 turd because of the fact that they released it in theaters.
That, and like I said, it was a complete bore fest.
It was boring. It was so boring. And let me tell you folks, we had issue. We had struggles. Okay, this movie made you go bye-bye to your memory, and it may have sounded like we didn't take a lot of notes or we forgot a lot of the movie. We actually watched it just prior to recording this. No more than 10 minutes prior to recording this episode, we watched it, and we still couldn't fucking remember the movie. Nope. That's how bad this movie is. If we watch it 10 minutes before and we can't remember exactly the order as shit goes down, something is wrong with the movie.
Because it was all over the place.
It's very forgettable.
Yeah, very forgettable. And I'm sitting there, and I actually leaned over and I told Chris, I said, dude, I don't remember anything. I'm having short-term memory problems right now. Literally. So if you don't take our advice and watch this one and rip it apart, we won't really blame you this time. No. But do it once if you haven't seen it. Just to hell with it.
We want you to watch it once.
Just to partake of the absolute stupidity and the bore fest that it is.
Yes.
Now, I know it's hard to convince people, hey, watch this movie, it's boring. Yeah, it might have some redeeming qualities to you folks, so give it a shot. See what you think. But 5 shits on top of the mountain for me so far. This is the worst one yet.
All the other movies that we watched, I can think back to them and think fondly of scenes that were so bad they were funny.
But they had entertainment value in some regard.
Yeah.
This did not.
It
really didn't. Even the blood scenes weren't bloody. They were just kind of
And the Bye Bye Man was barely even in it. Maybe a total of 5 to 10 minutes worth of screen time. 5 to 10 minutes.
And the rest of it was whiny millennial teenage college kids.
And he had no presence in the movie. He was not scary. Again, going back to something like Candyman, from the first 10 minutes, we were 45 minutes into this movie before something started to happen. 45 fucking minutes before something started to happen. That's a long time for nothing to happen. But going back to Candyman, within the first 15 minutes, there is such an air of terror produced from that movie, from the character, that every time he appears after that, you shit your drawers.
Yeah.
Same with Freddy Krueger. Same with even more or less Bagul. I mean, from Sinister. But this guy, every time, it doesn't make sense because it says the more you think about him, the more he appears. But he didn't appear that much.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
They were don't think it, don't this, that. Because, he was obviously in their heads the entire time, but yet he was...
Right.
It's like you said, the screen time was pathetic.
Right. He was in Elliot's first, John's, and Sasha's, and then Kim at the same time.
Yep.
But Kim dies first of 3 of them. Why? I don't fucking know. Then after those 4, he put it in the librarian's head. She dies after Kim. Why? I don't fucking know. And then the other 3 don't. The original 3 don't die until the very end. It doesn't make any fucking sense. No fucking sense.
As you can tell, we don't even know how to end this except to say that just fuck it. Watch it once, run away screaming, whatever the case may be. Say bye-bye.
Say bye-bye.
Watch it and say bye-bye.
It's on Netflix right now. Just go check it out. Watch it once and then be done with it. If you happen to find it so bad that it's funny that you can watch it again and riff it, then please do, because this movie deserves to be riffed over and over and over if you want to. But otherwise, just watch it and forget it.
And like I said, with all our episodes, we welcome comments. If you'd like to drop a comment, if you've seen the movie and you disagree with us, please let us know. Let us know what you find redeeming about the movies, or you don't like about the movies. You agree, disagree, and that's all good.
Go to our Facebook page and leave a comment, leave a post. Tell us what you thought, whether you thought you agree with us or not. If you have an idea for a movie you want us to watch next, leave a post on the Facebook page, and we'll take a look at the movie and see if it's shitty enough to be part of our canon. Yeah. And speaking of Facebook, where can they find us, James?
They can find us on Facebook, and actually Instagram is not up and running yet. I apologize for that, but it will be very soon. You also have us on Castbox. Excuse me.
We're on Castbox. We're on Spotify. We should be on Twitter iTunes pretty soon here.
Working on the iTunes.
Working on Twitter pretty soon as well. Right now, the Facebook is the main hub, because
that's our main hub. Absolutely.
Facebook, at least at the beginning, is a much more interactive social media platform, and so it allows us to actually talk to people and actually interact with them more. And so we're really focused on that more than anything else.
Yep.
Yeah, but find us on Castbox. Subscribe, like the episodes, leave comments. Same with Spotify. Find it, subscribe it, like the episodes, leave comments. Once we get on iTunes, you can do the same thing there. Until then, I think that's it. You got anything else, buddy?
No, sir. This is James.
This is Chris, and
we will see you next time.
See you guys. Bye. 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 Hey guys, welcome to What Suck Podcast. Try it again. That'll be a blooper.
Nope.